Okay, I've been getting a lot of requests for a review of book 15, so I figured I had to concur as the people demanded it. I also wanted to cover it myself because man, that book was heavy and I have a whole lot to talk about that I can't wait to make full video topics of, but until then, let's just summarize that all into one review. This will of course be a review as I just said, but also a summary of the entire book for those who haven't read it yet. I'll try my best to cover all the important events while still adding in my own commentary. Before we get started, if you are new to this channel, please think about subscribing. I regularly post both Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats content, so you'll never be bored. And to my current subscribers, thank you so much for supporting me. I wouldn't have gone here without you. Now let's talk about the book. Raven is part of a village. Up until recently, they used to worship a big hole in the ground and even sacrificed a few people to it. This was because the thing in the hole may have threatened to kill them a couple of times. Actually, definitely threatened to kill them. Now they don't do it anymore. However, the old Lorax who speaks for the hole is still there. The leadership have taken away his job, so he just stares aimlessly into the hole all day. His name is Vol. He apparently used to be normal before he was dragged into the abyss by a vine. That's some foreshadowing for later, by the way. Since then, he's been acting weird and has pretty much been kicked out of the village. I can see why. He's a threat in this state and could drag someone into the hole. But forbidding anyone to visit him except for to feed him is a tiny bit cruel. What if there was a medical emergency between visits? Vol tells Raven that he needs a dragon. Not a dragon, sorry, the dragon. It's pretty obvious who this dragon is to the reader. It's Sundew, the strongest leaf speaker who is still alive today. Raven and Vol's brother Mole decide that they should do this or else their village might be destroyed. Switch POV back to the one we all want to see, Luna. She's waiting to travel over the ocean between Pyria and Pentala and monologuing. Most of the books open with at least a tiny bit of monologue I've noticed, so this falls into pattern. She's talking about how she always wanted to change everything to be a stop in the system, but has always felt relatively powerless. And now, even though she does have those powers to flame silk, she feels like she's just being used, whether that be by Queen Wasp or Belladonna. Despite the negatives, she's still glad for the chance though. Luna is pretty unique due to this neutrality on her powers. Oftentimes characters either love their powers and think they're awesome like Darkstalker, or despise them and want them gone like Fathom. I feel like her reaction is like what most of ours would be. Powers have benefits, but they also have drawbacks. She's very realistic. Okay, back to the actual book. Sky sees what he thinks is a dolphin and is mistaken. Pineapple makes a comment and Luna thinks about how his constantly changing scale colors make it hard for her to recognize him. I definitely relate to her here. I have problems recognizing names too. Jerboa comes out and Luna notices that she's walking weirdly, which at first she attributed to her being too winged, however now realizes it's something else. I personally think this is from her missing toes due to the curse. Luna gives Jerboa a gift and then some other secret stealth dragons come out. Luna sees Cricket and thinks about how she's a Highwing and even though Blue likes her, he isn't the best judge of character so she'll still be on guard. I'm glad the Highwing hesitancies continue through their books and it takes a while for the Pentalians to forgive the Highwings. It's realistic and it isn't idealistic. Tsunami gives Luna a dream visitor so she can visit Swordtail. She does and they promise to meet each other again where Swordtail first proposed to her, in the Mosaic Garden. At first, I didn't like Lunatail, but his book has definitely shown her dynamic off. It's almost a foil to Fierce Teeth X Strongwings where it's a smart girl and a dumb boy, and they want to change the world. Only this time, instead of conquering the Night Kingdom, they just want to live their life on Pentala. Then the stealth team takes off, more monologuing, this time about how Moon does not live up to Luna's expectations of what a seer should be. At this point, she does not know that Moon is a mind reader. The irony is palpable. She then assesses the other dragons. Cricket is a Highwing. Sky is sweet, Tsunami is the one useful one, and Pineapple is asleep? She wakes him. Keeply teases Bullfrog and makes fun of how he's a bit slow and doesn't understand sarcasm. Luna identifies Keeply as the smart one. Pineapple disappears from view and then screams. Sundew quickly makes them all invisible using an animus object which Snowfall gave her. Sundew takes over as commander as expected. She's the most battle experience, second only to Tsunami, and she orders them to go and fight the Highwings, who are a bit confused by the Distant Kingdom dragons. Some of the stealth team are taken out, and the rest of them are forced to hide. A Silkwing among the Highwings is used to find them. Silkwing antenna has been a bit overlooked in the series, and has only been used once or twice. I'm glad that it was brought up again. The Silkwing, or rather the other mind possessing the Silkwing, says that it remembers the Distant Kingdom tribes like the Sandwings and Rainwings, but it isn't confused why some of them are still invisible while unconscious. The Silkwing seems to be switching through different personalities, each has its own font. One of the personalities is in normal text and Wasp is in bold. Pineapple, Moon, and Keebly are taken. After Bullfrog tells them that Clay believes that prophecies are solved not on their own by what the dragons in them decide to do, they split up and have one team find the missing dragons, and another one go after the other minds. Have these dragons never seen a horror movie before? Luna, Sky, Wren, Bullfrog, and Cricket makes it to Pantala and rests in a cave. Luna is having a hard time getting up as she is suffering from a bit of brain fog and is feeling depressed. She remembers that she often feels this way, but Cricket helps comfort her and teaches her how to feel more grounded. I understand this may be me looking way too much into this, but Luna maybe has some sort of mental illness. We know Tui has included neurodivergent individuals before, Whiteout, and I feel like Luna has some traits like the brain fog, depression, and problems recognizing faces that I experienced myself. I'm not sure what criteria she fits into though, and I do not want to wrongfully diagnose a fictional character with something, so I'm just gonna leave the headcanon to y'all. Wren explores the cave and gathers the dragons around after she finds a torch and goes to search for the other humans. They meet Exultol, another human, but then they leave because Wren and the others are invisible, and hence an Exultol cannot see them and be afraid. Luna decides Cricket isn't that bad now that she's comforted her, and that she can live with her dating her brother. She's a bit concerned over how to blend her scales together in a tapestry though. Luna's constantly thinking about tapestries, which I can relate to with my drawings. She then recalls how she met Swordtail after they stood up for Silkwing without wings, who was getting threatened by one of the guards for standing too close to a balcony ledge. Wren comes back from the village where she's been invisibly stalking. Exultol comes back to the cave often, still unaware of the dragons to read. Eventually, the invisibility wears off and a panic ensues. Exultol tries to escape into the tunnels, but Bullfrog pins them down. Wren explains the situation to Exultol, who then tells her that they have heard of a village worshipping a strange abyss, and they will lead the dragons there in return for a translation of a book. The Stealth Team dragons leave a message for the other Stealth Team dragons and then go to the village. On the way to the village, Bullfrog mentions the scorching. Luna and Cricket pressure him into telling them about it. He gives them a vague descriptor. When he accidentally mentions Oasis's death to scavengers, they begin to harass him about it, and he just walks away. Bullfrog is such a good character, not for any rational reason, but he's mysterious. We don't know anything about him other than he seems to like Clay, likes history, and doesn't like talking. Every other dragon on the team has been a protagonist or has a connection to a protagonist, not Bullfrog. I was wholeheartedly expecting him to turn out to be another dragon. Maybe Bog, even though Chameleon had his scroll taken away. Or even Umbaru snuck in for some reason. But nope, this random Hick Mudwing is on the Stealth Team. Tui, please tell me who this dragon is, I'm begging you. They encounter a leafling resistance member in the tunnels named Pokeweed. He freaks out about Bullfrog and the scavengers, as expected. Luna immediately describes him as slow and unimaginative, making her the third most judgmental protagonist just behind Peril and Snowfall. He brings them to the other resistance members, Tao, the Bloodwing Hive Silkwing, Lady Jewel, Lady Scarab, Grayling, and Dusky and Hemlock. Dusky is a clingy little orphan child who Luna decides is hers now. Vol appears and jump scares the group while Luna and Cricket are out exploring. They find cave paintings depicting the events of the scorching. When Luna isn't looking, Vol kidnaps Dusky. Luna decides to jump into the abyss. Ryan says this is a trap. Luna jumps in anyways and discovers a cave full of vines with two corpses, a human one and a dragon one, woven together with vines. This scene is untapped horror potential. I can't wait to see what it inspires in the future. The other mine appears to be fighting itself, however eventually is able to induct Luna into its hive mind along with Dusky. Luna wakes up in a strange place with organized streets and roads. She finds the place occupied by humans, but she can't understand them, and she also realizes this place is a city in an empire. 3 teenagers are hunting for dragons. One of them is Cottonmouth, the one who matters, and the other 2 don't really matter. We see them as they progress through the years, stealing their first dragon eggs, and other human empires doing the same. Cottonmouth wants to control the dragon eggs, and he pairs humans with dragons cruelly. One day, a mission goes wrong and the dragons attack. This is how the scorching began, not out of anger, out of a need for territory, but for a love and grief extremely powerful. This is why the tribes have queens, because it was them who burned the world down for their children and built it up for them too. Cottonmouth and several others flee their continent. He decides just raising dragons isn't enough, they need something chemical ensuring a bond with the humans, and he settles on the breath of evil. That's one theory, right? The other mind is a scavenger, but is also one of the poor dragonettes he kidnapped and the plant itself. The Dragonette interrupts the flashbacks and says she hates the memory. Cottonmouth retorts that he doesn't care. The Dragonette, called Lizard, wants the memories of Dusky and Luna because she gave them some of her memories. Rudely, neither Dusky nor Luna offer theirs up. Cottonmouth laments his plan would have gone just right if not for that one meddling kid. Also, dragons suck and are dangerous, which is objectively true. Wasp is only able to control the dragon sheep poison specifically, so Cottonmouth has to leave and go and deal with the Silkwings and Leaflings on his own. Lizard, Luna, and Dusky are left to their own devices. Luna convinces Lizard that they should go and see Swordtail. Lizard calls Blue boring. Luna says you have to feel bad for him, and Lizard freaks out because at least he can eat and fly unlike her. Dusky asks if there's a way that he can free her, and she says maybe. But she prefers making Cottonmouth suffer instead. It's kinda funny. Cottonmouth announces that he's captured the Distant Kingdom dragons. Keebly, Pineapple, and Tsunami are captured, but Lynx and Sundew rescued Moon. Pineapple manages to venom spray the queen, and a fight breaks out. Luna knows they won't be able to make it out there with the guards, so she gives her memories to Lizard in return for their freedom. All of them manage to escape, but Pineapple is now in the hive mind. Cottonmouth then uses Luna's body to pass along a message that she needs Sundew, and the friends in the cave promise to retrieve her. Luna says that's rude to use her body like that, and Cottonmouth says that if she had the same opportunity to be where he was, she would just take it like Hawthorne and Wasp. He says even Lizard would like it, which we've seen before. He then storms away. Luna wants to make sure that once she gives her memories to Lizard, no identifying information would be held, like a list of names. She asks Lizard to use one of her previous dragon memories to prove that it won't be used. Lizard tells her that she's never had anyone to set before, so she can't be sure. She also doesn't have any memories of her own. Poor Lizard, she's been stuck in a hole for 2,000 years with a narcissistic, abusive human, and no one ever takes her seriously. Dusky volunteers to go first and gives a memory of his father. Lizard complains about it being boring. Luna then gives a memory of her with Swordtail, and I have the same reaction that Lizard did. Yuck, get a room. Pineapple gets close enough that Lizard can pull him into the mind space. They see the Self Squad is nearing, and Cottonmouth is getting pretty excited about Sundew because she has a stronger leaf speak ability than Lizard. Luna realizes that she can let them go, but Lizard doesn't want to be alone, so she never will. The Silkwing realizes it's not just a possessiveness issue, it's a worldview issue. Before she can figure out a plan of persuasion, the stealth team reunites en full. She then asks on a whim, "Hey Lizard, if all dragons are so bad and Silkwings are just sloppy, take a look at Pineapple's memory and see if he's romantic. If he is romantic, then you should free us." Lizard figures he will be proven right as Pineapple's magical deathspit, but it turns out Pineapple also needs to get a room as he and Jambu are dating. No surprises there, the fruit named Dragon is fruity. Moon shows up. Luna asks if they got her too, and Moon explains that she can read minds. Luna instantly gets embarrassed. Moon learns that Pineapple is possessed and goes to tell the team, but they end up getting in a shouting contest where both of them are accusing the other of being possessed. It resolves that Cottonmouth via Pineapple resolves to take all of them, including Sundew, to the abyss. Luna yells at Lizard to stop them, but Lizard says that she wanted memories and Cottonmouth got her for her, so why should she turn away? The reason that she should turn away is because Moon can be a conduit for other dragons' memories. She channels the memories of every other dragon except for Sky, Wren, and Bullfrog. Lizard is still disappointed, but then she realizes that dragons do not deserve to have all these good feelings taken away just because she cannot have them. She then instructs Luna on how to destroy the plant. Yes, Lizard is pretty much telling Luna exactly how to kill her. Lizard can't be more than 2 years old, the age of an enemy in Mink, but yet she has to make this difficult decision, to suffer forever or to die. At this point, I was screaming for Magiganimus Magic to reappear. Lizard did not deserve this fate, and yet it happened anyways. I'm sobbing, and I may write to you, I'm so moved. Before that can happen, the stealth team lands at Lake Scorpion. Keebly begins to negotiate with Cottonmouth, and Luna tries to use her real body to get close enough to the corpse that she can kill Lizard and the other mind by cutting the vine that goes into her brain. The Leaflings who were left behind in Plantella pop up and ambush the stealth team. The battle over there is grim, but Luna breaks free and cuts off the vine growing out from Cottonmouth's head. Lizard is not freed and gets mad at Luna. Luna points out that this isn't fair, she deserves to live, but Lizard doesn't want to be alone for all of eternity. Luna finally gets her point and renames Lizard Freedom. This is the second arc in a row where a dragon is renamed in the last book. I think it may be a theme sort of thing. Lizard is freedom because the other mind, which she's a part of, crushed the freedom of other dragons. Slayer is called hope because her son only looked down the dark paths, leading him to ignore what positive things the future could bring. Luna kills freedom and burns all the vines in the throne room. She carries Dusky and Volt to the surface, and they reunite with the rest of the stealth team. Then she fulfills her promise to Swordtail and meets him in the Mosaic Garden. Blue takes Cricket to meet his mothers, and they accept her. In the future, Wasp and her sisters are imprisoned, and Jewel becomes queen. I'm glad about that. Jewel was the only decent Hive-wing sister lady besides Scarab. I'm glad the Hive-wings have consequences too. They don't get to rule over the Silkwings now, and I can assume they'll be paying reparations towards the two Pantalian tribes for damages. The Silkwings have their own government. Because there's no clear descendant of Queen Monarch, they have an assembly. This is unique to the Silkwing tribe for now, and this new form of government is quite interesting. I can't wait to see where it leads. Will it eventually collapse and they go back to a monarchy? Who knows? Sundu's been planting trees for the Leaf Silk Kingdom. Yes, that's what it's called in the book. So they can get to pre-Tree Wars levels of forests. Cricket's tree from the first book survived, and now she plants it. Aw, that makes it full circle. I like this book a lot. It was a good change of pace from the Dangerous Gift, which was mainly filler. My only complaint is that we need a book that takes solely in the protagonist's mind after 2 in a row with other dragons' perspectives and memories. Luna was great, and she had unsuspected depth. I was expecting a rehash of Sundew, but instead it turns out that Blue was an unreliable narrator, and Luna was putting on a mask and secretly was a bit depressed. The events of the Scourging was finally explained, which I wasn't expecting in this book, but I'm not complaining about. Bullfrog was not explained, so I demand once more, Tui, who is this random dragon? Highlights of the book had to be the scene where Luna finally decides to kill Freedom. It was heartbreaking. I rated all the Wings of Fire books a while back, which you can see on screen here. Flames of Hope is officially placed in high A, and it deserves its spot. Feel free to comment below your opinion on the book. I am not the final say in this matter, and will find it interesting if you rated it differently, so make sure you share your reasons. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. I make Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats videos pretty often, and your support would mean a lot to me. And to those already subscribed, thank you for your continued support. I would have gotten here without y'all. That's it, Rogan out.